Hey, welcome back to Car Talks, where I rant, ramble, rave, and word vomit my thoughts on training, life, and fitness, and talking about doing what's best for you, or for an athlete, or somebody that you train. Not every exercise works for everybody, and that's just one of those things that it's one of those things that we need to get out of the headspace of, thinking that squatting is the magic cure. And I've talked about this. Squatting is a movement pattern. That deadlifting is the cure, right? With a straight bar. We have to understand that everybody's got different body types. Everybody's got different anthropometrics, which is basically limb lengths and stuff like that. If we really want to get dirty into that, that's fine. But being able to understand that not every exercise is going to work for everybody. Great example of this. I had an athlete that I worked with who had scoliosis, and so he basically had a curved spine. And he goes to his high school weight training classes and works out with his football team and stuff like that, and the coach has him back squatting all the time. And in particular, low bar back squatting. If you know anything about low bar, it places a little bit more stress on the lower back than doing like a high bar back squat or a front squat does. So this kid always sits there, he's like, I hate squatting heavy because it just hurts my back. I'm like, okay, well, let's have you belt squat. And I rigged up a belt squat with a dip, like a weight attachment for dips and stuff like that, like a dip belt. And we loaded it up, and about 5 reps in, and not with a whole lot of weight, the kid's legs start shaking. He's like, I've never felt this happen with a squat ever. And I was like, well, how does your back feel? And he said, my back feels great, right? So all of a sudden you realize, like, all right, well, it's not that squatting is a bad movement, but it just wasn't a good movement for him. It's not that it was, squatting's bad. It's that back squatting for a kid with scoliosis just wasn't a good idea. It was going to cause him more pain than do him more benefit for being able to develop gains. The same thing is true, like a 6'2" female volleyball player with femurs that are a mile long. Back squatting, front squatting, those can be challenging movements, but split squatting can be a far more advantageous movement for them to be able to understand how to, develop some of that leg strength that they need. So it doesn't really matter what exercise you choose, right? We talk about movement patterns, talk about squat, hinge, press, pull, right? All these different movement patterns are really what we're after. So pick the exercise that is right for you. It's not about what is your favorite to coach, or necessarily like what is you see everybody else doing. You got to do what's best for you. Whether that's picking a different movement, whether that's picking a different exercise, you just got to go with what's best for you. Or if you're a coach and it's your athlete, you got to do what's best for your athlete. So just something to think about. And until next time, we'll see you in the passenger seat.